All right, let's dive in. We're taking a deep dive today into Ben Horowitz's book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
Oh, yeah, classic.
And I know you're interested in like the whole entrepreneur thing and,
Mhm.
especially how to like work through the challenges and
It's
stuff.
hard things, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be really fascinating because it's like his journey from nearly going bankrupt to like $1 billion exit.
It's a wild ride.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. And you know what's so great about the book is that it's not just about celebrating the successes.
Right.
He really goes into the nitty-gritty, the struggles, the tough calls that really shape a leader.
Absolutely. So we're going to like trace his path
Yeah.
from his early days at Netscape,
Hmm.
through that whole dot-com bubble bursting with LoudCloud
Yeah.
to the eventual success of Opsware.
And I think what we'll see along the way is it's not just about tech.
Right.
It's about leading people through those hard things and coming out stronger on the other side.
Yeah, for sure. So let's actually start with like his early influences, because his childhood in Berkeley was like anything but ordinary.
Oh, yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, like picture a neighborhood where you've got hippies mixed with families, like striving for upward mobility. And he even says in the book, like, crazy people.
Yeah, like a real melting pot.
Yeah, talk about a melting pot of like different perspective.
That's really interesting you say that because that diverse environment was crucial for him. You
Yeah.
know, it instilled in him this like open-mindedness and resilience, being able to see things from different points of view,
Right.
adapting to like crazy situations.
Yeah.
These qualities proved invaluable in the world of tech startups.
Yeah, like it makes me think of that saying, it takes a village.
Oh, totally.
But in his case, it was a village of like these really unconventional characters.
Exactly. And, that adaptability that he learned,
Yeah.
it served him well later on when he had to make quick decisions and like pivot strategies.
Oh, for sure. So let's talk about that turning point in his career, Netscape.
Joining in its early days, that was a leap of faith. Huge leap of faith. But he was like convinced that Mark Andreessen and Netscape were going to change the world.
And they did, in a way.
They did. To
Yeah.
be in the right place at the right time.
Right.
Witnessing the birth of the internet. Boom. That must have been insane.
It was, and he wasn't just a spectator.
Right.
He was given a lot of responsibility right from the start.
Yeah.
Managing the enterprise web server product line.
Wow.
And his starting team, because this was just two engineers, the McCool brothers.
Wait, the McCool brothers?
Yeah.
Like the ones who created the NCSA web server.
The ones who like paved the way for the web as we know it.
Yeah.
That's who he was working with.
That's a powerful foundation to build on.
Absolutely. So Netscape's thriving, the internet's exploding, everything seems to be going up and up, right?
Right, like the good times.
And then, boom, the dot-com bubble bursts.
Oh.
Things take a turn, especially for their company LoudCloud.
Yeah, this is where the real challenges start. This is where, like, the raw honesty of Horowitz's story really shines through.
Okay.
He gets this scathing email from Mark Andreessen outlining all their, like, product and market share failures.
Oh,
And Andreessen doesn't hold back,
yeah.
He even points out their massive loss in market cap.
That must have been a gut punch, especially considering at the same time Andreessen was like on the cover of Time magazine.
Right, like the poster child for the internet revolution.
Yeah, what a contrast.
Totally. And to add to the pressure, his wife, Felicia,
Yeah.
sees how serious things are and advises him to start looking for a new job.
Wow. So imagine getting that advice from someone you trust so deeply.
Yeah, that's a real test of character.
Totally, like facing potential career disaster when you thought you were on top of the world.
Yeah, and if that wasn't enough, they decide to take LoudCloud public during a stock market crash.
What?
Yeah, he describes the IPO roadshow, and the investors were like looking like they had come out of torture chambers.
Oh man, trying to convince people to invest in your company during a market downturn, that's got to be tough.
It's crazy, right?
It says a lot about their determination, though.
It really was.
Even when the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah, it was a recipe for disaster. Customers were the economy was in free fall. They were running out of cash fast.
So what did they do? Was this the end?
They were close to giving up, but then they made this pivotal decision,
Okay.
a really risky move that would define their future.
Right.
They shifted LoudCloud's focus from cloud computing to a software business that they called Opsware.
So complete change, of course.
Complete change driven by necessity and this will to survive.
That's incredible to abandon your original dream and bet everything on a new path.
It's a testament to their adaptability and that willingness to pivot when things get tough.
Yeah, for sure. And during this crazy time, they get some advice from Bill Campbell,
Oh, yeah, Bill Campbell.
a legend in Silicon
A
Valley.
legend.
And Campbell, known for his, like, blunt wisdom, tells Horowitz, if you're going to eat shit, don't nibble.
Classic Bill Campbell.
What does that even mean in the context of running a company?
It means face the tough decisions head on, don't delay the inevitable.
Okay.
Make the hard call, deal with the consequences, and move forward.
So for them, that meant letting go of that cloud computing vision
Yep,
and fully embracing opsware.
exactly.
Okay, so they've got this new plan, but their situation's still shaky. Morale must have been super low. How do they rally the troops after such a dramatic shift?
Horowitz decides to address the situation head on. He gathers the remaining 80 employees and takes them to this low-end motel in Santa Cruz for a company retreat.
Okay, interesting.
And instead of sugarcoating the situation,
Right.
he's brutally honest about the challenges they're facing.
It seems counterintuitive. Wouldn't that further demoralize the team?
Here's the key. He didn't just focus on the bad news.
Yeah.
He also painted a picture of the opportunity that opsware presented.
Right.
This transparency, coupled with this renewed vision, that was crucial in regaining the team's trust and commitment.
So it's about acknowledging the reality.
But also inspiring hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to show his commitment even further, he issued new stock grants to every employee.
Wow.
It was a bold move, like saying, we're all in this together and we're going to make this work.
It's a powerful lesson in leadership.
Mhm.
Honesty, transparency, and sharing the risks and rewards with your team.
Absolutely. But of course, this is just the beginning.
Right?
They still had to prove that opsware could succeed.
Yeah.
And their biggest challenge was yet to come. The EDS crisis.
Uh-oh.
That's a story for the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
And it really reveals a lot about their problem-solving approach and the importance of understanding your customers' needs.
I'm ready for it. This is shaping up to be an incredible journey.
Oh yeah, it's going to get good.
Yeah.
So we left off with opsware facing this like make or break moment, the EDS crisis.
Yeah, they'd managed to land EDS as their biggest customer,
Huge customer.
accounting for like a whopping 90% of the revenue.
Talk about putting all your eggs in one basket.
But seriously, but
Yeah.
the deployment was a disaster. Oh, yeah, technical issues, incompatible systems. It was a mess.
And EDS was ready to pull the plug, demanding a refund that would have bankrupted opsware.
It was bad.
So they were facing a potential lawsuit from their only major client
Right.
and the very real threat of going under. What did they do?
They were up against a wall with only 60 days to turn things around.
Oh.
Horowitz knew he had to act fast.
Yeah.
So he brought in his A-team.
Okay, who are we talking about?
Jason Rosenthal, his first hire, and a super skilled manager,
Okay.
and Anthony Wright, known for solving the most complex technical problems.
So classic divide and conquer strategy.
Exactly. Jason was tasked with leading a team to fix those deployment issues,
Wait.
while Anthony was given a different and maybe more intriguing mission.
Right.
Horowitz wanted him to find what he called exciting value.
Exciting value, huh?
Yeah, something beyond just fixing the software, something that would really impress EDS.
So it sounds like they were trying to address the underlying issues at EDS, not just like putting a Band-Aid on a gaping wound. But how do you find exciting value for a company as big and complex as EDS?
Well, this is where Anthony's ingenuity comes in.
Okay.
He starts by observing, really understanding EDS's culture and their work environment.
Okay.
And there's this great anecdote about their main contact at EDS, Frank.
Okay.
Anthony noticed that Frank always requested the longest possible layovers during his flights.
Really?
Yeah, to meet with the opsware engineers.
Why would anyone want to spend more time in an airport?
Well, it turns out Frank used those layovers to hang out at airport bars
Okay.
because he, in his own words, hated his job and his life.
Wow.
This little detail revealed a lot about the internal state of EDS.
Yeah, it says a lot about the level of, like, frustration and maybe even dysfunction.
It was a crucial insight, you know?
Yeah.
They realized that EDS wasn't just looking for a quick technical fix.
Yeah.
They needed something more, something that would address those deeper issues.
So they had this revelation about EDS,
Mm.
but how did they translate that into a solution? What was the breakthrough moment?
Anthony had an epiphany.
Okay.
He proposed acquiring a company called Tangram,
Tangram.
which had a product that was already integrated into EDS's systems.
So it wasn't just about buying technology.
No, it was about acquiring that expertise and a proven track record within EDS's environment.
That's brilliant. They get a technology and a foot in the door at the same time.
Exactly, a double win.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just about the product.
Right.
They acquired Tangram for its key personnel.
Okay, like who?
including John O'Farrell.
John O'Farrell, the big deal negotiator. The guy Horowitz said he'd want to represent him at the pearly gates.
You got it.
Wow.
John was a master negotiator.
Yeah.
He knew how to navigate those complex deals and get things done.
Right.
He was instrumental in integrating Tangram
Okay.
and ultimately saving the EDS account.
It sounds like they pulled off a miracle,
It's close.
turning a near-death experience into a victory.
Yeah.
It's amazing how they could think outside the box, understand their customers' needs, and make these bold moves when it mattered most.
And this victory really highlights a key aspect of Horowitz's leadership style.
Yeah.
He empowers his team to find solutions,
Yeah.
trusts their expertise, gives them the space to think creatively.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the best solutions come from those closest to the problem.
Absolutely. But the story doesn't end there.
Of course not. The world of tech is constantly evolving,
Always.
and standing still is rarely an option.
You're right. Their triumph with EDS was a major turning point, but new challenges were on the horizon.
What's next?
Enter Blade Logic, a formidable competitor who threatened to disrupt everything Opsware had built.
The constant pressure of innovation and competition.
It never ends.
It seems like every victory in the tech world is just a stepping stone to the next battle.
That's the truth.
I'm eager to hear how they navigated this new threat. So we left off with Opsware riding high after that whole EDS crisis.
Yeah.
But as we know in tech, standing still can be fatal.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just as things were looking up, this new competitor emerges, Blade Logic. They had a better product, and they were taking market share fast. It was a real wake-up call for Opsware,
Yeah.
like a reminder that you can't rest on your laurels.
Right. Past victories don't guarantee future success.
Exactly. So how did they respond to this new threat? Did they freak out?
Yeah. What happened?
Well, Horowitz admits he was pretty burnt out at this point.
I can imagine.
But he knew giving up wasn't an option.
Of course not.
So he gathers his engineering team and gives this really raw and heartfelt speech.
Oh, wow.
He acknowledges all their past sacrifices.
Yeah.
And he makes this plea for one final push.
Okay.
6 months of all-out effort to beat Blade Logic.
It was a call to arms.
It really was a reminder of why they were all there.
Yeah.
And it's a great example of authentic leadership.
Okay.
Horowitz wasn't afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
He shared his own exhaustion, his anxieties.
Yeah.
But he also conveyed this deep belief in his team's ability to overcome this challenge.
And it wasn't just about, giving a pep talk.
No, not at all.
He backed it up with action.
Exactly. And there's this really poignant story about one of his engineers, Ted Crossman,
Right.
who years later said that he hadn't fully grasped how serious the situation was at the time,
Oh, wow.
but he felt the weight of Horowitz's genuine leadership,
Yeah.
and that made all the difference.
That's amazing. It speaks to the power of sincerity,
Totally.
of leading by example, especially during uncertain times.
People can tell when a leader truly believes what they're saying,
For sure.
and that authenticity can be really inspiring.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that leadership isn't just about barking orders.
Right.
It's about connecting with your team on a human level,
Yeah,
sharing the burden,
totally.
and inspiring them to do amazing things.
Now, this period also reveals something crucial about product strategy.
All right.
At the time, Opsware was getting all these feature requests from their existing customers.
Yeah.
But Horowitz realized they couldn't be everything to everyone.
Right.
They had to prioritize what would help them win against Blade Logic.
So they had to make some tough choices.
Yeah, even if it meant saying no to some loyal customers.
It's never easy, but sometimes you have to disappoint some people
I know, it's tough.
to stay focused on the bigger picture.
And their focus paid off. They rallied, they integrated Tangram effectively,
Nice.
and they beat back Blade Logic.
Wow, what a story.
It's really a testament to their resilience,
Yeah.
their ability to adapt and overcome even the toughest obstacles.
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster ride.
It is.
From almost going bankrupt to these huge victories.
Yeah, Horowitz and his team faced it all.
But what's so fascinating to me is how he takes these experiences and turns them into valuable leadership lessons.
Totally, and they go way beyond just the tech world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some of the key takeaways for someone who isn't necessarily building a billion-dollar tech company?
This book is about so much more than just startups.
Right.
It's about facing challenges head on, making tough decisions,
Okay.
building a strong team, and never giving up on your vision.
That's powerful.
These are universal lessons that apply to any career, any industry, any life goal, really.
If Ben Horowitz, who faced so many setbacks and nearly went bankrupt, can achieve this incredible success.
I know it's inspiring.
What's stopping anyone from pursuing their dreams?
Exactly.
This book is a reminder that success is rarely a straight line.
So true.
It's often messy and unpredictable.
And full of twists and turns.
But that's what makes it so rewarding.
Absolutely. The challenges, the struggles, the setbacks, they're all part of the journey.
And if you can learn from them, adapt and persevere,
you can achieve anything.
So if you're looking for inspiration, practical advice,
a raw and honest look at leadership,
I highly recommend The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
It might just change your perspective.
Yeah, you might find that the hard things are the ones that make all the difference.
Couldn't agree more.